For those of you that want to do an extending version of the cereal box design here, we're going to get you to put it into a 3D object. And it's actually not that hard to do. We use what's called a Photoshop Smart Object or a Photoshop Mockup. So in this case, we've actually already got the template for you. When you open it up, you're going to see a few layers over here. And specifically, you'll see these little smart objects. You know they're smart objects because of that little icon in the corner. And it says here, double click and replace, double click and replace. Well, I'm going to use the thicker one here. This is going to be my main cereal. And when I double click it, it actually opens up kind of an embedded layer right here. It's called a PSB file, and don't worry about the name there. So this is now opened up. And the cool thing is, whatever I do to this layer right here, let's say I just draw like that, if I then save it, see it's unsaved right now with that little star. So if I hit Control S to save it, it now updates over there. So it's a really nice way to quickly do some nice mock-ups. Now, over here, I'm going to take the design here. Now, this it's not a great example because this is just a simple JPEG. It's one layer. But in your case, you're going to have tons and tons of layers. So your best bet is actually to use the rectangular marquee tool. And this will select anything in a shape of a rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the entire thing like that. And if you were to just go to copy like that, all it's going to do is copy the layer you have selected. And you're going to have tons of layers, right? So instead, what you're going to do, you're going to go to Edit, Copy Merged. And that's actually going to copy every single layer all at once. Then, when I come over to my PSB file, I can just paste it. And you can see this is a pretty low-res version. But I'll stretch that to fit it. Hit my check mark, and you can see it's unsaved, so I hit Control S, and there we go. Now I've still got that cereal box mockup text, so I should probably get rid of that. I can either delete it or hide it. I'll just delete it, and once again, hit Control S to save, and now I've got the front. So then when it's time to do the side, I do the same thing, right? I'm going to come over here, I'm going to double click to replace, and this is the side. Now I'm not going to do the entire side right now, but essentially, we're asking that you get some certain parts that should go in there, including all the ingredients, the name of the cereal. You should have a UPC barcode, the nutritional information, and pretty much all this stuff we've supplied for you. So for example, I could take the nutritional information here, and I'll just drag that in. You know, the name of the cereal would go up top. One thing that's a little confusing for people is when they get the ingredients, they're not sure how to put those ingredients in. So I'm just going to show you here what you can do. Basically, select all of the ingredients that we've listed for you already. So I'm just going to copy those. And technically, I don't need to have those in brackets, but I'm going to copy all that. And this is the one time where when you do the text, you're actually going to use a text box. You don't want to just click and paste. You want to click and drag a box about the size of whatever you want, the ingredients to take up. Then I'm going to hit Control V to paste, and you can see I'm not seeing much. So I got to hit all of those. I'm going to pick a different font, probably like a thin font or something. I could try this one. And size 53 is crazy. Let's make that much smaller. It's probably going to be like size 8 or something. Right now I've got terrible spacing. So if I go out to my window character over here, I can just kind of click and drag this. This is known as my leading value. And it's looking pretty good right there. You could center that text if you wanted, put it down there or whatever. Now, right now this background's kind of a weird color, right? So I'd want to match that. So in this case, I'm just gonna take that solid color right now, and I don't know, I'll just fill it with a layer like that, bring that down. So it's obviously not done, but that's the start. And you can see it's unsaved. So when I hit Control S to save it and I come back over, I've now got a pretty realistic looking box here. So I still would have to get my title over there. You might want to have some, fun thing like, new games inside. You could have the net weight on it. Whatever you want that you kind of think is going to make it look a little bit more realistic. And that's it.